Hello there everybody, how's it going and how have you been? I am EuclideanSqd, and I'm here today with another episode of Duel Links. We're back kind of on the title screen because there was an update earlier tonight, and I just wanted to show this off really quick. They actually sort of changed the waiting screen for the download. Originally you just kind of flipped over cards and got to look at them while your game downloaded data, but now it looks like they kind of turned it into a bit of a quiz. And apparently I'm not that good at it. Kinda am. But, yeah, a little bit more interactive, a little bit more entertaining while you're waiting for the game to download. I just wanted to go ahead and show that off before we got into the game. And in this episode, like I mentioned last time, we are going to be doing some PvP duels. Just as soon as the game loads. And that's right, the reason for said update was to both end the Jesse Anderson event. If you are watching this video a few weeks from now and you're upset that you missed out on this event and getting an exclusive character, don't worry, he's probably going to show up again in a few months' time. They may even just make him generally unlockable to everybody else, as they've been starting to do that with some of the previous event characters like Yugi, Pegasus, I think the Paradox Brothers as well, but don't quote me on that. But with the removal of the Jesse Anderson event, we have a new one. And I actually don't mind getting interrupted this time, because this event, as you will soon see, is the Kaiba Corp Cup, which is actually a PvP multiplayer event for the game. And I can hear Kaiba's voice in my head. I cannot do it to save the life of me, so I think I'm just gonna go ahead and read them like normal, especially because I'm kind of tired today. Listen up, duelists. Come on. There we go. It's time for the Kaiba Corp Cup Duel Tournament. Are you not? Okay, it only registers clicks in the middle window. And that reminds me, I turned the mouse cursor on so you guys can actually see what I point at now. Anyway, I'm just going to kind of skip over his dialogue. Basically, the Kaiba Corp Cup is a special PvP multiplayer event sort of thing. The only caveat to participating being that you have to be stage 6 in the game, which is super easy to get to. But the cool thing is, if you participate and do well enough in this event, I'm skipping over his text because it's all flavor, but if you do well enough in the Kaiba Corp Cup, Konami themselves may actually extend an invitation to you for the actual Duel Links World Championship. They did it last year, they're doing it again this year. I really, really doubt I am going to be able to do well enough to come anywhere close to getting a World Championship invitation, but you know what? I don't care. We're going to be doing some PvP duels, we're going to be having some fun, and that's the long and short of it. And it looks like, because I was in silver rank in the standard ranked duels, I get to start a little bit ahead of the curve. Normally you start at duelist level 1, but apparently I had progressed enough in regular ranked duels to start duelist level 3. And then here's just a quick overview. I'm not really going to read over this, but basically it's saying that there's 2 phases to the Kaiba Corp Cup. One that lasts from today until April 15th. The second phase actually starts April 12th and lasts till April 15th, and I'm pretty sure the second phase is when they determine who gets the World Championship invitations. But even if you don't get the World Championship invitations, there's still plenty of rewards. There's custom game mats and card sleeves. Well, not custom game mats, exclusive game mats and card sleeves. You can get gems for participating. You get these cool tickets, which you can use to redeem super rare cards and ultra rare cards and all kinds of other stuff. And basically, the more you duel in it, the more stuff you get. And they're even throwing in more incentive. The first 7 duels you do in the Kaiba Corp Cup have prizes. And that's just an update as to what cards we can get in the PvP stuff. Stop. I want to get to I want to duel. Stop telling me about what I can win by dueling. Let me duel. Alright. So if you don't want to participate in the Kaiba Corporation Cup, you certainly don't have to. You can still click regular old ranked duels down here, but I'm going to be playing along. And let's see what exactly we can get. It looks like they share your victories between ranked and Kybercore and the KC Cup, so there's really no reason to not participate. But basically, as you win duels, the game tracks your cumulative victories, and at each one you win different prizes. Like here you get a normal duel ticket, which you can use to redeem for any of these cards. You can then get a glossy duel ticket, which lets you get a glossy version of any of these cards. Ooh, fancy. But yeah, you can get gems, you can get tickets for rare cards, you can get gold, you can get all kinds of stuff for participating. And the higher your duel level goes, the more prizes you get. So seriously, if you have any interest in multiplayer dueling, if you just want to give it a shot and see how well you do, you're rewarded. There's really no reason not to. So we're going in, and it's dawning on me that I actually forgot to go over my deck. I will go over it after this duel, but you will see an overlay of my currently used deck on screen. I think. I'm actually blanking, and I might have the wrong deck equipped. I really, really hope I don't, because this is going to be embarrassing. So, coin flip says we're going second. And this guy's using the new character. Okay, no, I am using the correct deck. This deck is all about aliens. I love this archetype so much, and I'm actually not going to use the skill. For anyone new to this game, this deck in particular might seem a little bit complicated, but hopefully I can explain some of it when I go over it after this duel, because I completely forgot to do that. So, yeah, he's using Jesse's skill, which basically involves putting all of the special Crystal Beast monsters in his deck so that he can summon the Ace monster, Rainbow Dragon. I'm going to be doing my best to not let him do that. So we got an Alien Mother. Let's see, I don't want to go aggressive just yet. I prefer to kind of bide my time and set a few snares, if you will, with this deck. So I'm just going to set Alien Gray, set a couple of cards, and see what he does in response. So I think I might be able to play with his mind a little bit. So, since he seems to be taking a while, the main sort of mechanic that these alien monsters that I'm using revolve around is what are called A counters. And they basically do it in two ways. They spread A counters, and then the A counters then fuel the effects of other aliens. Oftentimes, many of the aliens have an effect, like Alien Gray here, where if you look over to the left, it says if a monster with an A counter battles an alien monster, it loses 300 attack. That's the primary thing that aliens usually do with their A counters, but others may use A counters as costs to special summon themselves. They may use it as cost to destroy cards, all kinds of things. And in particular, one of their traps, Brainwashing Beam, allows you to take control of an opponent's monster that has A counters on it. The downside being that an A counter is removed at the end of each of your turns, and when all the A counters are gone, the trap destroys and the monster returns back to the owner. But I don't think I'm going to let him do that. I'm going to be particularly mischievous, and I'm also going to activate this A-Cell Recombination Device card, which, long story short, lets me toss an alien out of my deck, and then place A counters on a monster equal to that alien's level. But, as a secondary effect, I can remove Recombination Device from my graveyard on a later turn, and then add any alien I want to from my deck to my hand, like Alien Overlord, the main muscle behind this deck. Now, Alien Overlord is the one that special summons itself by removing A counters, specifically 2 of them from anywhere on the board, but I'm going to remove them from the bird, just so that I keep control of the Pegasus for a little bit longer. Then, because that was a special summon, I still have my normal summon for the turn, and I'm just going to go ahead and sacrifice his Crystal Beast Pegasus to summon the Alien Mother. And because I can, I'll use Overlord's effect to give the Eagle another A counter. I set A-Cell Recombination Device just in case of emergencies, and Alien Mother will not attack. I'm going to let Overlord attack the bird instead. As you can see, Cobalt Eagle's attack power drops significantly. It's because Overlord also has the effect where monsters with A counters get weaker when they fight aliens, and that effect will stack, so if I had 2 monsters with that weakening effect, it would be applied twice to every monster, so it can very quickly spiral out of control. And I don't know what he's doing. It really took him that long to... whatever. Alien Mother's just going to attack him in the face, and that's game. So, pretty good deck, I think. Pretty powerful deck. Again, I haven't really played in PvP that much, especially at the higher levels, so I don't really have an idea how good this deck actually is. But let's kind of fast forward through all this. We get our first of the 7 encouragement rewards, I like to call them. And let's back out really quick so I can show you the deck as a whole. If it loads. When it loads. Anytime now. That is the one thing, is that the game does seem to load a little bit faster on mobile devices than PC for some reason. But yeah, this is the deck. I just gave it the silly name of Space Invaders. Now, I will say that this deck is not perfect. I would like to have 3 copies of Alien Overlord instead of 2 of him and 1 of Alien Mother, just because I find Overlord to be a little bit more useful than Alien Mother is, but I haven't gotten the 3rd copy yet. He's a rare, and I don't have 3 copies, so it's a little bit annoying. Basically, Alien Overlord is the main brawn behind the deck. He's really good at spreading A counters. He's pretty easy to pull out, especially when you combine with ASO recombination device like you just saw. Alien Warrior is kind of the next level down of strength. He's an 1800 attack point monster. Pretty difficult to get over, and if your opponent does happen to destroy him in battle, whatever monster kills him gets 2 A counters, which is perfect fodder for summoning Alien Overlord. We've also got Alien Kid, which puts A counters on monsters that your opponent may special summon to their field, making it so that any monster they try to pull out in a desperate pinch is at least a little bit hindered, because if Alien Kid's the only thing you've got, that monster's only losing 300 attack, but that can help. We've got Alien Telepath, who removes A counters from opponent's monsters to destroy your opponent's spell or trap cards. Then we have Alien Gray. He's a flip effect monster. When he's flipped face up, I get to place an A counter on any of my opponent's face up monsters, and then if he's destroyed in battle after getting flipped face up, I get to draw a card. He probably could get recycled out for another copy of Telepath and another copy of Kid, but I like having him in the deck because he's a decent source of A counters. He helps you draw a card. He proves himself to be pretty useful, so I keep him around. ASO recombination device, as you saw, sends an alien out of your deck into the graveyard to add A counters, and then on another turn you can banish it out of your graveyard to add an alien to your deck. As you saw in the previous duel, really good to just set it, activate it on your opponent's turn for whatever reason, even if you just want to wait until the end phase, because then on your next turn, because it's a different turn, you can go ahead and activate it, pull Overlord, pull Mother, and I actually forgot to go over her. Alien Mother can't be special summoned. She's the only monster in this deck that does not have the weakening effect of, or the A counter weakening effect. But I keep her around because she's a little bit stronger than Overlord, and if she ever destroys an opponent's monster that has A counters, I get to take control of it at the end of the turn. If it goes to the graveyard, that is. Monsters like the Crystal Beasts, which can move themselves to your opponent's small trap zones, or anything that may banish itself after being destroyed in battle, I can't take. But at the same time, if I combo her with, say, an Alien Warrior, it makes her that much harder to overcome. She is one of the strongest aliens in the game, if not the strongest. I only say that because I don't know if one other particular card counts as an alien or not. Trap Brainwashing Beam, you saw, lets me take control of an opponent's monster with A counters. Crop Circles is a bit of an interesting trap. You activate it, you send any number of your monsters from your field to the graveyard, and then it lets you special summon an alien from your deck with the same level. So I primarily use it to say if something happens to let's say one of my alien kids and its attack power suddenly drops. I can use crop circles, get rid of the alien kid, and then summon an alien warrior fresh out of the gate. Likewise, if something happens to an alien overlord, or say alien mother, I can use crop circles to replace any of them. I've only got the one copy in the deck, doesn't show up that often, but it can be useful at times. And the final card in the deck is the only super rare, actually, so this deck is pretty good for new players whose gem supply is a little bit more limited. This is Mysterious Triangle. Basically, I get to destroy a monster on the field that has an A counter on it, special summon a level 4 alien monster from my deck, but the monster I special summon is destroyed at the end of the turn. I don't get to play this card that often, just because I primarily, once this deck gets going, A counters tend to get removed off the board pretty quickly just because I'm destroying stuff in battle. But on occasion, it's a fun little booby trap. Say, somebody sets off Alien Grey with their big monster. I put an A counter on it, I Mysterious Triangle, destroy their big monster, summon a warrior for the turn. Oh, excuse me. Likewise, I could also tribute the monster that Mysterious Triangle summons for an alien mother or an alien overlord. I could crop circle it to get another copy with no problem. But that's enough yammering about the deck. Let's go ahead and have another duel, this time against a Joey player. His skill gave him another 1,000 life points, so he's going to be a little bit harder to take down, but I don't think I'm going to restart my hand like my skill lets me. Just because I've got a really good source of A counters here. If a lot of this isn't really sinking in, I will be doing like kind of deck concept tutorials and skill tutorials and just more example stuff at a later point. But I figured after that big introduction to the game episode and then getting sidetracked with the new box, I kind of just want to get into duels, because this is the main thing that Yu-Gi-Oh! Is all about, is the competitive card play. Let's see, he's using the new hieratic cards, which is interesting. Oh, it's dawning on me, I actually have an aesthetic feature turned off. In addition to the sound effects and the music, you can actually... Oh, hold on, I'll wait for my turn. No, you can go ahead and attack, that's fine. The reason I'm waiting to activate recombination device afterward is I want to put a lot of A counters on this thing, but I don't want to make it so weak that it can't destroy Alien Grey, because I do want to draw another card. Okay. And what's he going to special summon? My guess is probably that weird... Oh no, he summons a baby dragon. Fitting for Joey. Okay. Let's see here. Yeah, let's go ahead and activate recombination device. I'm not going to put him on the baby dragon. There's no point in weakening it if its attack and defense are already set to 0. So I'll just go ahead and... Yeah, let's toss the other Alien Grey to add 2 more A counters. I kind of want to hold on to my bigger aliens just because I imagine this deck has a little bit more strength behind it. And I drew an Alien Overlord. Cool. So in that case, I'm still going to remove recombination device, but instead of searching for Overlord, I'm going to go ahead and pull a warrior to my hand. Now, as I was saying, for the game interrupted, there's background music, there's sound effects, but you can also turn on and off character lines. I may have these on, I may have these off. It kind of depends on my mood. They're an interesting sort of addition, but they can get a little bit annoying. Yeah, basically your characters will narrate each of their moves, kind of as though they're in the anime. They're all pretty much the same soundbite. The game just kind of loads different ones. And as my opponent is demonstrating, in addition to the automated soundbites, you can also click on your character and say, and throw out taunts. These add a little bit of fun. There have been times where I've had fun kind of bantering back and forth with my opponents and actually really messed that up. I should have summoned Telepath and then used one of the A counters to destroy his face down. I was not even thinking. But, well, too late now. Let's send in Alien Warrior first. It's okay if he Alright. Okay. That's not good, because that's going to make that guy more dangerous, isn't it? I'm actually going to check OBS again. I keep setting my microphone in slightly different positions each time I record. I might as well just get rid of the baby dragon. There's no reason not to. I totally messed this up. That's annoying. I always do stupid stuff, stupid things like this. Even when I'm actually paying attention to the duel, I always do stupid things like this. He's going for warrior. Okay, sure. Take 2 A counters. Means Overlord can easily crush you next turn. Especially if I summon any of the other aliens in my hand. That is true. He does get to keep replacing that baby dragon as an extra barrier. No, he's got no spell and traps. Let's use Alien Kid just because these things do tend to special summon quite a bit. So he'll help with the A counter distribution. Overlord's going to go ahead and toss out some more A counters. And this is really going to hurt because that thing's attack is going down by 800 or 1800. No. Yeah, 1800. It lost 900 for Alien Overlord's effect and 900 total for Alien Kid's effect. I think I might go ahead and leave the character lines on for the rest of this episode. I'm probably going to do one more duel just because I got a little sidetracked with explaining the deck and everything else. Man, time really flies when you're playing this game. Kind of doesn't help that I keep getting opponents to take a little bit of time thinking. Which, I mean, fair enough. You know, sometimes you have to take a few seconds to think through your next move. Can't play you because Alien Overlord's effect says you can only control one Overlord at a time. So I'm just going to go ahead and summon Alien Telepath, go into the battle phase, and just to secure victory I'm going to let Overlord attack his face down, make sure I get over it, and he just went ahead and surrendered during his turn. Okay, no sweat. If I was in his shoes, I probably would have just taken the loss, because here's the thing, I never surrender in this game. And that's not a point of pride, that's not a point of, cool, I got to Duels level 3, or 4, and I got 50 rituals for my efforts. But yeah, that's not a point of pride, that's not a point of anything really. It's just, I mentioned at the beginning of not the beginning of the episode, the first episode, that even if you lose, you still get duel assessment points and you still get some rewards. That only counts if you actually lose. If you surrender a duel, you get absolutely no points at all. So, especially in that case where I would have finished him off in like 5 more seconds, I would have just sat there and let my opponent beat me so that I could at least get, you know, whatever it would have been, you know, say, even if it's just like 13 gate keys or a small handful of gold coins, you know, it's still something for your efforts. So, I'd say, like, really, don't surrender. Even if your opponent has you pinned from the first turn, just take the loss, because you still get something out of it. Let's see here. So, we're dueling against Jaden now. And he's using Elemental Heroes, as is befitting the character. But I've got a pretty good hand. Actually, he might just be using Warriors. I don't know. Ooh. Do I take the slower approach or do I take the aggressive approach? You know what, let's take the slow approach. Just because I think this will be able to counter his incoming turn better. Just gonna go ahead and set Gray, set my 2 quick play spells, and go ahead, dude. Do what you want. And as you've probably noticed, opponent turns aside. This deck tends to end duels pretty quickly, so if you are strapped for time, using a deck like this can actually be helpful. And he did not put something in face up, he actually did a pretty smart move and put something in defense mode just in case. Which, again, is good. I'm going to let him go ahead and destroy Alien Gray just so I can get to I get to draw my free card. And actually, if you are concerned about time, I would recommend turning character lines off, just because that does make the... you don't have to wait for them to say whatever it is they're going to say before the game proceeds with its next effect or activation or step or whatever you want to call it. Right, end of the turn, activate a cell recombination device. Again, I drew an alien overlord thanks to Gray, so I don't have to look for a warrior. Only thing I can dump A counters onto is the Sparkman. And it looks like he actually had a moment there to activate a card. So I'm tempted to toss one of my bigger aliens. You know what, let's go ahead and toss Alien Mother. Put a whole heaping helping of A counters on that thing. Okay. This is another nice feature. As you saw, my game was waiting for a response. But that icon that was up here, that actually signified that his game was trying to reconnect to the servers. This is really, really nice because before then you really couldn't tell if an opponent had like just rage quit and closed their whole game or had just simply lost connection. And it's kind of nice because honestly, seeing people rage quit, it's a little disheartening because, like I mentioned, you're giving up loot. I mean, it's not very much, but it does add up over time. And there's been times where, like, I've managed to drag a duel out for, like, 3-4 extra turns, and I managed to pull the card I needed to turn the duel around and win. So, you know, as the anime seems fairly fond of saying, the duel's not over until the last card is played. So surrendering and rage quitting, there's really no point to doing it. But anyway, enough prattling about gamesmanship. I'm just going to use Telepath's effect, take an A counter off of Sparkman, destroy the face down card. This thing's attack is still probably going to plummet to 0, just because... Actually, it's going to plummet to exactly 0. Because Overlord... Actually, it's going to plummet beyond 0 if it could. So Overlord puts a 5th A counter on it. It's going to lose 1500 attack from Overlord's effect, and another 1500 attack from Telepath's effect. So I'm going to let Overlord go for the face down, just in case that's an Elemental Hero Clayman. I'm not going to activate Mysterious Triangle. It was not a Clayman, but it was something else with 2000 attack, so I'm glad I did that. Telepath is going to go ahead and destroy Sparkman. Still going to save Mysterious Triangle just in case. And your turn, dude. Let's see what you do now. He's using his skill to play Skyscraper. I kinda spaced on that. Cool, now all of his elemental heroes are going to gain 1000 attack if they're attacking a stronger monster. Like my Overlord. Why did you do that? I mean... Oh, because it's not an elemental hero. Duh. Well, then why did you put it in attack mode? You know what? No, you don't get that face down. I don't trust it, I don't like it, I'm going to get rid of it. Overlord places the A counter. Telepath immediately removes it to destroy the face down. And doesn't matter. Face up, face down, Telepath can still destroy it. So, yeah, even if... That would be a good ploy if I wasn't able to destroy spell or traps, because that halves my monster's attack, and... I'm not going to taunt him, there's no reason to. I generally don't use the character taunts until my opponent does so. Just because you never really know, like, they may not even have their character lines turned on, so there's, you know, it's like you're talking to a brick wall at that point. Yeah, so that's a good example of the PvP duels. It's kind of an introduction to the Kaiba Cup. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Hope you all had a great time, and I hope you all have a great day. I'm probably going to progress it a little bit in the Kaiba Cup off camera, and then we will come back to it in the next episode, unless of course the game decides to do something else and throw something else at me in between recording sessions. But regardless, yep, so you probably won't see the challenge stamps in the next episode. I'm probably going to clear those out. No idea how far these aliens are going to take me. I may switch decks after the next episode. I do want to use the aliens a bit more just because I really love them. But I do want to give other cards some time in the spotlight, so we'll see. It's going to be aliens next episode, maybe something else after that, but I have no idea. Regardless, hope you guys all enjoyed, hope you all had a great time, and I hope you all have a great day. I will see you all in the next episode, and farewell for now.